Good afternoon. Welcome to the People's House, in particular the public hearing room of the Guam Congress building. Thank you, Speaker Terlaje, for joining me today. We're here, of course. Today is Purple Heart Day, the 7th of August. So we have a lot of purple in here, and of course we have the Purple Heart chapters that are here. So before we start, I want to ask if we could get the chapter presidents up here, Mr. Nick Francisco and the other chapter presidents up here, please. We have 3 chapters, do we not? Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. Again, this resolution is Resolution 453-37 LS, sponsored by myself, Senator Lujan, Speaker Therese, Senator Frank Blas Jr., Senator Chris Barnett, Senator Taitague, Senator Joanne Brown, Senator Chris Dueñas, Senator Tom Fisher, and all other senators of the 37th Guam Legislature, relative to recognizing the observance of the Purple Heart Day on August 7th today, 2024, and commending the members of the Military Order of Purple Heart, Department of Asia Pacific, Guam Chapters 1315, 787, 2007, and the Ladies Auxiliary for their service and sacrifice to the island and country, and keeping with the tradition of the military service. Be it resolved, the Committee on Rules of the Minute 37 na Islaturan Guahan, whereas on August 7, 1782, General George Washington established the honorary badge of military merit in the form of a heart on a purple cloth, which became one of the oldest and most respected military decorations awarded to members of the U.S. Armed Forces. And whereas on February 22nd, 1932, it was designated as Purple Heart, recognizing the spirit of volunteerism and selfless dedication fundamental to the American way. And whereas Purple Heart Day, also known as National Purple Heart Day, Purple Heart Recognition Day, and Purple Heart Appreciation Day, is a day dedicated to honoring and recognizing the brave service members who have been wounded or killed while serving in the U.S. military. And whereas Purple Heart Day will be observed on Wednesday, today, August 7, 2024, providing the opportunity for the nation to express its gratitude and appreciation for enduring strength and bravery of Purple Heart recipients, ensuring that their sacrifices are never forgotten. Before I go on, I want to recognize Senator Joanne Brown, and if you can read these 2 paragraphs when you're here, and then I'll have the speaker. Oh, you need glasses? Can you? Okay. No. Okay. Just up to here, and then the speaker will finish off. Right here.
Whereas the sacrifices made by Purple Heart recipients has ensured the continued freedom and security of our nation, and their courage and dedication exemplify the highest standards of military service. And whereas the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Guam Chapter 1315, was chartered on November 11, 2003, with 29 members. The second chapter, Chapter 787, was chartered on November 11, 2005, with 34 lifetime members. And the third chapter, Chapter 2007, was chartered on November 11, 2006, with 42 lifetime members. And the Department of Asian Pacific Guam and Ladies Auxiliary, with 62 members. And whereas the mission of the Military Order of the Purple Heart is to foster an environment of goodwill among the combat wounded veteran members of their families, to promote patriotism, to support related legislative initiatives, to provide service to all veterans and their families, and to further the legacy and impact of the significant contributions of the Purple Heart recipients have made to our island and our nation.
Whereas the Guam Ladies Auxiliary plays a vital role as proud advocates of the local chapters by sharing the compassion of the combat wounded with support for one another and volunteering on behalf of all veterans. Whereas many Americans have been wounded in combat while protecting our nation against enemies. And as a result of their injuries, these Purple Heart recipients bear their battle wounds for life, while others have made the ultimate sacrifice by giving their lives for their country. And there are no exclusions by war or branch of service, as all members of the Armed Forces of the United States are eligible to receive a Purple Heart. And the Military Order of the Purple Heart exists to serve not only the wounded, but all veterans and their dependents. And the Military Order of the Purple Heart plays a vital role as a proud advocate of the local chapters with its mission of providing support for one another, our veterans, and their families, as they all share compassion for the combat wounded and volunteer on behalf of all veterans. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Committee on Rules of Iminetrantaysiatin Legislature in Guahan does hereby, on behalf of the Legislature in Guahan and the people of Guam, recognize the observance of the Purple Heart Day on August 7, 2024, and commend the members of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Department of Asia Pacific, Guam Chapters 1315, 787, 2007, and Ladies Auxiliary for their service and sacrifice to our island and country, and keeping with the tradition of the military service. And be it further resolved that the Speaker and the Chairperson of the Committee on Rules certify, and the Legislative Secretary attest to the adoption hereof, and that copies of the same be thereafter transmitted to members of the Military Order of the Purple Heart Guam Chapters 1315, 787, and 2007. And to the Honorable Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero, Imagat Hagan, Guahan.
On behalf of the 37th Guam Legislature, we'd like to present this resolution, again, for 453-37LS, sponsored by all the senators of the Iminetrantaysiatin Legislature in Guahan, to the Purple Heart members of the different chapters here in Guam, and congratulate you again on your day and honor you on your guys' day. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to say a few words? Or?
We are so honored today to have our present very distinguished members of our veterans community, including the Director of the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs, and of course the Commander of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Mr. Nick Francisco.
I just like to thank Senator Lujan and the other co-sponsor, the Speaker, Senator Brown, for preparing this resolution presentation for today, our big day, the Purple Heart Day, August 7. And I like to thank Jocelyn Agustin, the Director of the Veterans Affairs, for joining us this morning. And also I'd like to thank Tom Devins over there for joining us this morning. We've been missing you for so long, but thank you, Tom, for coming. And for the rest of you, thank you again for your presence here today. Zeus Masi.
You want to introduce everybody that's here, and then as you introduce them, that they're here, and then introduce them, then we'll bring them up, okay?
I like to call up the department officers, Department Ao Gargosa, Joe Kasaka, please come up. Ao Gargosa is my junior vice, and Joe Kasaka is my finance. Bobby, come up here and you introduce your group. And I'll call up here Charlie, Tony, and Tom. Come up here, Tom. Okay. Frank, Basa, come up here, and Joel and Guerrero, come up here. We're going to have a photo, and Bobby will introduce the auxiliary. Also, just for the info of the people back there, the Commander for 1315 is Tom Mindiola. Commander for 797 is Johnny Taitano. And Commander for 2007 is Frank Mindiola. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here this afternoon to honor us, Senator Brown, Senator Lujan, and Speaker Terlaje. And it's my honor to introduce our auxiliary. We have Julie Mendiola, Taitano Mendiola. We have Cora Cepeda, Lil Gambabone, Dorothy Lucella, and Donna Singh. And Tony Lucella is also part of our auxiliary. Ladies, please come up so we can have our pictures taken.
On behalf again of the 37th Guam Legislature, well, thank each and every one of you for coming out here today. And again, congratulations. We honor you. This is your day. Thank you very much for everything that you've done for us and protected us over the years, and you continue to do so. Thank you very much, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.